guys, my name is Courtney and welcome to my channel. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be 3 different looks using the new Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This is the palette in all of its beauty and glory. Basically, I wanted to show you guys how versatile this palette is. I know sometimes when you look at palettes like this that have so many different colors, some people may get a little bit overwhelmed. Some people might get a little bit overwhelmed, so I wanted to show you guys a few different looks that you could do with this palette. I'm not going to go too much into depth about the actual palette and how it wears, only because I am going to do an actual review of this palette that will be out before or after this video. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the video. For the first look, we're going in with the color Riff. And with the fluffy brush, we're going to lay that into our crease. You can use soft circles or swipe back and forth. It's always your choice. Next, we're going to go in with the color Hell Ride. That's going to go on top of that tan color we just put down. You can build this color up a little bit more than I did if you want a more intense look. Next, you're going to need a dark base. I'm going in with the Dose of Colors Cream Matte Eye Color. I'm going to take a flat synthetic brush and pack that on my lid. And it's okay to be messy here. Then we're going to take a smudger brush and smudge the outer edge of that cream color so that it's easier to blend when we add the shadow. Next, we're taking the color Jet on a flat shader brush, and we're going to pat that on top of the cream base we just put down. I'm bringing the eyeshadow slightly above my lid and into my crease just a little bit. Now we're using the color Baja, and with a small fluffy brush, we're going to use soft circles to blend the edges of that deep shade. Going back in with the color Hell Ride on a larger fluffy brush, we're going to buff that out on top of the orange color as well as slightly above the crease. Here I'm going back and forth between Baja, that orange color on the small brush, and Hell Ride with the larger brush. I want to make sure I'm building the color up enough in my crease so that the transition from the burgundy color to the black color is a little bit smoother. Once you're ready for the bottom, you're going to use a black liner in your waterline, and it's okay to make this a little bit messy because you're going to smudge it out later. Then we're going back with Jet on a pencil brush or a smudger, whatever you prefer, and we're going to smudge that on our lash line. Also slightly in our inner corner. Then we're going to take Hell Ride right below that and connect it to our outer corner. Be sure to take your time on your bottom lash line so that your eyeshadow doesn't get into your eye. Then you're going to take that small fluffy brush and blend that out. For the inner corner, you're going to use the color Blaze. I wasn't super excited about this one, so I sprayed my brush with Fix Plus, and it made the shadow pop a little more. Also, to exaggerate it, I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Minted Mojito Kilowatt Foil on top of that. And that's it. For our next look, we're going back in with the color Rift, and we're going to build that color up a little bit deeper than we did before. Next, we're using the color Still Shot on top, just for a slight wash of like a peachy pink. Then we're going to deepen our outer corner with Good Is Gone. We only really need a little bit of this color on the outer edge of our lid, just for definition. Be sure to buff everything out. We're only going for a light layer of color. Now we're going in with Ignite on our finger and placing that all over our lid. You can also take a brush and buff out the edge of that color if you'd like. Also on our finger, we're going to take the color Stranded and place that on the center of our lid. This just brightens up the look a little bit more. For liner, I'm using the Dose of Colors Cream Shadow in Extra Baggage. And I'm stamping that on my lash line with a flat brush. Honestly, you could just use a brown pencil liner if it's easier for you. It's really the same result. I just chose to be a little extra. Once you're ready, we're going to take this blue Wet n Wild eye pencil, and that's going in our waterline. Next, we're taking the color Radio and smudging that on our bottom lash line and on top of that ice blue color. This is about the point that I realized I skipped my concealer, so I had to go back in with that. And basically, after the concealer, I went back in with the pencil and the shadow, the same way I did before. Then I'm going to take a small fluffy brush to blend. I'm going to blend outward but also slightly upward, like almost creating a cat eye with the shadows at the bottom. Then I took Breakaway in the inner corner, and that is it for look number 2. For the final look, we went into Baja, that orange shade, and built that color up fairly heavy this time. Then we went into Riff again to soften out the edge of that color. Now we're going in with the color Punk, and we're going to heavily pack that onto our outer corner. Now to blend that out, we're going back in with Baja on a fluffy brush, and we're going over the edges of the deeper shade to buff it out. And at this point, you're going to continue to build and blend to the saturation that you want. Now I'm taking my NARS concealer and a flat brush to cut the crease. Just remember to go slightly above your crease so that the shadows are visible when your eyes are open. Cut creases are always going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of practice, so just make sure you're taking your time with it and go slow at first. Then we're going in with the color Big Sky on the same brush, and we're going to pack that on the inner corner of our lids. Now we're taking Wanderlust and putting that in the middle of our lid. Here I'm taking the color Big Sky on my finger and patting that over the line between the green and the blue shade. This sort of makes the colors transition into each other a little bit better. Now I'm taking that color Punk and blending out my outer corner as well as the top of my cut crease. I'm also going to take Wanderlust on my finger and blend that and the dark brown together, doing the same thing that I was doing before. After that, we're going to take a black ink liner and we're going to do a very small, thin cat eye. Lastly, we're going to buff everything out with the color Riff. After lashes, I'm going in with this teal pencil from Smashbox in the waterline. And we're going to take the color Wanderlust and smudge that on the outer 2/3, if that makes sense, of the bottom line. Then we're going to take the color Big Sky, and that's going to go in the inner portion. Now we're using Punk to connect our lower lash line to the top. And then Baja to blend all that together. Now we're going to take Stranded in the inner corner, but also on the bottom where we put Big Sky. And there you have it. Alright guys, that about does it for me today. If you are curious about this palette, like I said, I do have a review going up, so keep an eye out for that. Also, what was your favorite look? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe before you leave, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!